people, pets are not just animals. They're considered an important part of the family and are treated as such. Now, while many owners take pictures of their pets, some who really want to capture the essence of their furry friends, their personality, they choose to have a portrait hand-painted. Michael D Giorgio is a nationally recognized artist who has been painting wildlife illustrations for more than 35 years. He joins us here on the show. Nice to have you here, Michael.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So what initially started the process of painting animals? Bring us back a couple of years.
Well, I've always painted birds, mainly because I'm very interested in birds. I'm an ornithologist, and I've always gone in the woods. And of course, there's other animals I'm interested in painting as well. So I've always had a knack for painting animals, birds, mammals. Yeah. And then eventually I did get a dog named Tori. And the dog became part of our family, of course. And then we got a cat. And so we really enjoyed them, of course. They were wonderful animals. And of course, like I said, when you are interested in painting something, you basically paint what's around you. And I started painting my pets. And it became more of a thing where I was trying to capture the personality of them. And I would do lots of sketches. And eventually, toward the end of their lives, I did more formal portraits.
I see.
So that's what started it.
And I know that the birds, you do guidebooks.
They're
so
yes.
intricate. We saw the picture of the parrots up there.
Right,
so
right,
impressive
right.
stuff. So what types of animals have you painted? A little bit of everything, would you say?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, but I mainly focus on birds.
You do?
That's my specialty. And I'm doing 2 books, one on birds of South America and one on birds of just Brazil. So I travel abroad and photograph and sketch birds, and that's what I do.
What type of medium do you use to
I
create
mainly
these?
use watercolor, and mainly watercolor is a good commercial way of painting because it dries quickly. You can scan it well, so I use watercolor and another type of watercolor called gouache, which is an opaque watercolor.
I see.
So those 2 things I use.
All right. You have a couple of pictures that you brought with you today. We saw the birds. That's the dog. You said his name was Tucker?
Tucker,
okay.
Right. Tucker is a portrait I did for a client, and it took about 2 weeks, but Tucker is a fairly famous dog. It goes to libraries and does visits with children.
Okay.
So I actually met and photographed Tucker in a library. The next...
Some cuddly cats here.
Yeah, the next portrait was basically my neighbor's photograph, and he brought it over and said, "I'd like you to paint a picture of my cats." And I said, "Geez, that photograph is so beautiful." The 2 of them sleeping together, and I basically just copied the photograph, and I changed it a little bit for compositional purposes. And the last portrait is of a horse named Muddy, and that was for a client in California, and she sent me all the photographs of the dog, of the horse, on email.
So how does it typically work? People get a hold of you. I know you have a website on Etsy.
Right.
We could find you there. So do you get they send a photograph?
Yes, initially they write and ask me if I'm available, and they write to me and say I have a dog or a cat that I'm interested in, and they ask me how long it will take and what size I work in. So I have standard sizes and prices. And then they start sending me photographs, and I ask them to send me multiple photographs in different lighting so I can get a feeling. And then I kind of interview them and ask them how they feel about their pet.
Sure.
Because a big part of it is the personality.
Yeah, I bet. And it's great because you kind of work hand in hand with the owner and and you being the artist. We have some pictures of the process.
Right.
Let's put that up. And you're really in contact with them.
Right.
The whole time.
So this was a dog named Nick, and I went and actually met Nick. Nick was a crazy dog, very friendly, jumping up, always happy. So I took this photograph, and this is the one the client chose for me to work on. So the next picture is the sketch I did. So I do a pencil sketch, and I send it to the client, say, a few days after I originally start working on it, and they approve the sketch. And so I say, okay, fine, if there's any modifications, let me know, but they approve the sketch. And then the next picture is me starting to work on the actual watercolor. And the first thing I do is lay in the background. And for Nick, I chose a bright yellow color to show the personality of the dog, because it has a very sunny, happy personality.
Sure.
So the colors play a part in that. And I'm showing part of the rug. Then I'm starting to lay out the actual fur color here and starting to put in the lighting and you know, the texture of the fur and everything like that in the watercolor. This is a little further along, and I'm starting to actually put the detail of the face, the fur, and I'm starting to work on the background a little bit more. And so each of these steps I send to the
really
client.
comes to life.
Yeah, and this is the final portrait, and not until they approve it do I say it's finished, and then I deliver the painting.
Very good.
So I
pretty
show all
incredible.
those steps on my Facebook page as well, so people can follow that.
Yeah, well, we'll find you on Facebook. We could also look you up on Etsy in case
That's
anyone
right.
needs a pet portrait. And of course, we'll also put the information about Michael D Giorgio on WTNH.com. Just click on Style. Michael, thanks for sharing your work with us.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right,
you.
stay with us. More Connecticut Style after the break. We'll be right back.